Back in 1987, the fight for our streets began. We see a young Marcus, fire in his eyes, leading the Boycott Memphis movement against the tide of gentrification. Fast forward to today. Marcus, now 57 but looking timeless, sees history repeating. The same struggle, a new generation. He knows the fight needs a new voice, a new rhythm. From the ashes of the past, a legend is reborn. Marcus becomes DJ Knows-It-All, a masked crusader for the community, dropping beats as GMX, the Ghost Man X. His music isn't just sound. It's a story, an anthem that resurrects the spirit of the boycott. Inspired by his flow, a new wave of young activists rises. The legacy of Boycott Memphis lives on, stronger and louder than ever, a testament to the enduring power of community.
They planted the seed. History's a thief, telling lies we believe. Wrote checks for the camps, tears for the land. White Indians got bands, still no black hands. Tails in the smoke, truth in the ash. Contracts broke, futures dash. Broken homes, souls detached. No repair, just a system to smash. Reparation, they duck the conversation. Paid for the camps, but not for plantations.
Reparation, stolen foundation. We built the nation. They deny the equation.
40 acres promised, a mule in the mix. Instead they gave us chains, whips, and tricks. Jim Crow in the shadow, red lines in the maps. Prisons full of kinfolk, dream collapse. Paid the Japanese for internment shame, but the whip scars linger, they erase the names. Tulsa burned, no justice in the flame. Generation know the tale, but who's to blame?
Fires hum a hymn for the lost. How much freedom cost? Hey, but that was lost. Whoa, oh, Memphis.
Oh, Memphis, they burned down the dream. Dr. King's blood on the pavement. Hear the angels scream.
They like proud as X say run the machine, but we ain't machines, we humans and we scheme. They took our school, left the books in the dust. Legacies erased, dream turned to rust. Closed doors on the children, broke the trust. Now the street raised them, who gon' adjust? Gentrify the block, painted up with fake gold. Pushes out there and said a story they stole, but we still hear roots deep, hearts bold. Boycott Memphis till the truth get told.
Boycott Memphis.
But not black dreams.
Support black business.
Keep alive our streams.
Boycott Memphis.
What a shadow schemes.
Lift our voices.
Let the gospel be.
They want kinda why churches stood tall. History erased, now that goes through the hall. Ain't no justice, just a courtroom brawl, but the spirits of our ancestors still call. They locked the gates, tried to change our minds, but we built pyramids, left Pharaoh behind. Now they take our homes, redraw the line, but Memphis, your clock's ticking, we'll redefine.
Elon, what's your saying about? About the sweat on the cotton fields, blood in the rain. You can't program struggle, can't compute the change. This soul ain't for sale, it's carved in the grain.
Boycott Memphis.
But lift the black name.
Boycott Memphis.
Invest in the people.
Boycott Memphis.
Rewrite the game.
Boycott Memphis.
But now black dreams.
Support black
Boycott Memphis is an organization against gentrification of the black neighborhood. This organization was against integration in 1965 because he was taught that blacks was already free and we was doing business with other countries. And we did not need to go back into slavery to America to help them out. Black on land, schoolhouses, churches, business, banks. We has our own country back for 100 years. Ever since 1865, the black fraternities and sororities helped the white people trick us back in slavery. Integrated in a sinking ship like Martin Luther King said he was one of the ones that helped integrate us. If Malcolm X was alive, it wouldn't have never happened.
The narrative of black prosperity and self-sufficiency in the United States before the era of integration is a crucial aspect of American history that is often overlooked. Figures like William Alexander Leidesdorff, a successful businessman and one of the first black millionaires in the U.S., and Madam C.J. Walker,
the first female self-made millionaire in America, exemplify the entrepreneurial spirit and economic success that existed within black communities. These individuals, along with countless others, contributed significantly to the economic landscape of their time, creating businesses, schools, and institutions that serve their communities. Before the civil rights movement and the push for integration, many black communities thrived independently. They established their own businesses, from grocery stores to barbershops, and created vibrant cultural hubs. Black-owned banks and insurance companies emerged, providing financial service that were often denied to them by white institutions. Schools and hospitals were built to serve the needs of black citizens, fostering a sense of community and self-reliance. However, the promise of integration, while necessary for dismantling the overtly racist structures of segregation, also led to significant challenges for these thriving black communities. The influx of white residents into previously black neighborhoods, often referred to as gentrification, resulted in the displacement of long-standing residents and the erasure of black-owned businesses and cultural landmarks. The land that had been cultivated and cherished by black families for generations was often seized or devalued, leading to a loss of wealth and heritage. Oh, the integration movement, while aimed at achieving equality, inadvertently contributed to the fragmentation of black communities as black individuals sought opportunities in predominantly white spaces. Many of the institutions that had supported their communities began to decline. Schools that once provided quality education tailored to black students faced underfunding and neglect, while hospitals that served black patients were often absorbed into larger, predominantly white healthcare systems, leading to a loss of culturally competent care. Success and the achievements of black individuals were often co-opted or minimized in the broader context of American history. The contributions of black architects, artists, and entrepreneurs were overshadowed by a dominant culture that sought to erase their significance. The systemic racism that persisted even after the formal end of segregation continued to undermine the progress made by black communities.
In conclusion, the story of black prosperity before integration is one of resilience, creativity, and community. While the fight for civil rights was essential in addressing the injustices of segregation, it also led to unintended consequences that contributed to the loss of black-owned businesses, cultural institutions, and community cohesion. Recognizing and honoring this history is vital in understanding the ongoing struggles against gentrification and the fight for economic justice today. The legacy of Black entrepreneurship and community strength remains a powerful testament to the potential for self-determination and resilience in the face of systemic challenges.
Born with a weight I cannot see, voices in my veins, they're haunting me. Roots so deep, they crack the stone.
History scars
My skin, my bone. They say let go, it's in the past, but how can we heal when the pain still lasts?
chains in the bloodstream. Oh, they don't break. Running through the rivers of the choices they make.
Echoes of
Sorrow. Yeah, we still sing. Chains in the bloodstream.
We're everything.
Built on the bed, they chose to bruise our family tree, stripped of their roots.
Told to rise, but shackled tight.
How can you climb
When there's no light,
They say move on,
it's been too long?
but the hurt is a hymn in every song.
chains in the bloodstream. Oh, they don't break. Running through the rivers of the choices they make.
Echoes of sorrow. Yeah,
We still sing. Chains in the bloodstream. They're everything. Everything. They're everything.
Chains rattling, ghosts in the grain. Echoes of ancestors crying in the rain. 100 years of freedom stolen again. Tricked by the Judas, the devil's pen. A vote casting shadows, betrayal ran deep. Dreams of liberation, buried where we sleep. Integration's a game, they rigged the board. Stole our land, now they hoard and hoard. Who signed the paper, who sold their soul? Who led the people back into the hole? Back to change, back to pain. Tears on the soul, blood in the veins. We ain't free, trading names. Back to change, back to pain. America a thief, draped in red, white, blue. They took the soul, the sky, the truth too. Traitors in our midst, wolves in disguise. Their silver tongue spit out polished lies. Our elders warned, but the young were swayed by promises of peace in the devil's parade. Didn't want their games, didn't want their greed, but some planted poison to poison the seed. Back to change, back to pain. Tears on the soil, blood in the veins. We How dare you crowning robes of white with gilded words and a halo light? Dare to shift the sacred, the divine decree to mold a Sabbath in your image, not He's. You sit upon a throne of stone with power to alter what was never your own. Have you forgotten the voice that thundered when the heavens shook and the earth was sundered? The seventh day, a covenant sealed, a mark of His people, the truth revealed, a reminder of creation, a rest and of grace. Yet you traded for Sunday a mere human face. How dare you redefine what God has ordained? With a flick of your wrist, His law is profane. The Sabbath, the sign, a beacon, a call, now twisted and turned to mockery of all. You preach a liberation, yet bind with your chains, a tradition of man where the spirit remains. In shadows of cathedrals, you whisper your lies, while the faithful, the humble, in silence they cry. Oh, the mark of the beast, you so deftly disguised. In the guise of salvation, a veil for your guys. But the truth is a sword, and it cuts to the core. For the heart of the matter is what we ignore. The Sabbath stands firm, a testament true to the faithfulness of Him who created anew. A celebration of freedom, of love and of light. Yet you barter it off in the dead of the night. How dare you, a shepherd, let astray your flock with a calendar's whim like a thief in the dark. The mark of God's people are called to be bold, to stand for the truth and let the story unfold. So hear me, O leaders with power in hand. The time has come forth to take a bold stand. Return to the roots, to the heart of the word. For the voice of the faithful must always be heard. Let the Sabbath resound, let the truth be proclaimed. For the mark of God's people cannot be tamed. In the face of your power we rise and we sing for the glory of God and the freedom He brings.
The Nobel Peace Prize, established by the will of Alfred Nobel, is intended to honor those who have made significant contributions to the promotion of peace. However, a closer examination reveals a disturbing paradox. Some laureates have been involved in the development of weapons that threaten global stability and human life. This book aims to explore the contradictions inherent in the Nobel Peace Prize, focusing on individuals and organizations whose contributions to weaponry stand in stark contrast to the ideals of peace. Yeah, Alfred Nobel, a chemist and inventor, is best known for inventing dynamite. His decision to establish the Nobel Prizes was influenced by a premature obituary labeled him the Merchant of Death. This chapter delves into Nobel's complex legacy, examining how his inventions intended for construction and industry were repurposed for destruction. The irony of a peace prize emerging from the mind of a man whose inventions facilitated warfare sets the stage for the ensuing discussion. The development of nuclear weapons marked a turning point in human history, ushering in an era of mass destruction. This chapter focuses on the scientists and political figures who played pivotal roles in the Manhattan Project and subsequent nuclear arms race. Notably, figures like Linus Pauling, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1962 for his activism against nuclear weapons, are examined. The chapter questions the moral implications of their scientific contributions juxtaposed with their peace advocacy. The gay bomb and the absurdity of non-lethal. In 1994, the U.S. Air Force's Wright Laboratory proposed the gay bomb, a non-lethal weapon designed to induce homosexual behavior in enemy soldiers. This chapter critiques the absurdity of such proposals, highlighting the ethical implications of weaponizing human sexuality. The chapter also discusses the broader context of non-lethal weapons and their potential for misuse, questioning whether any weapon can truly be considered non-lethal in the context of warfare. laureates have been affiliated with corporations that profit from warfare. This chapter investigates the relationship between Peace Prize winners and defense contractors, exploring how financial interest can compromise the integrity of peace efforts. The chapter highlights specific cases such as the involvement of laureates in the development of idyllic matches and questions the sincerity of their peace advocacy. This chapter examines the humanitarian efforts of Nobel laureates who have also been involved in illegal actions or the development of weapons. Figures like Henry Kissinger, who received the Nobel Peace Prize for negotiating a ceasefire in Vietnam, are scrutinized for their roles in perpetuating violence. The chapter argues that the humanitarian narrative often obscures the darker realities of political and initiative decisions. Chapter explores the consequences of the militarization of peace efforts. It discusses how the development of weapons, even those framed as peacekeeping tools, can lead to increased violence and instability. The chapter calls for a re-evaluation of what constitutes peace and the ethical responsibilities of those who receive accolades for their contributions to society. Rethinking the Nobel Peace Prize. In conclusion, this book challenges the notion that the Nobel Peace Prize is an unequivocal symbol of goodwill. It calls for a critical reassessment of the laureates and their legacies, urging a more nuanced understanding of the relationship between peace and war. The contradictions highlighted throughout the book serve as a reminder that the pursuit of peace is often entangled with the very forces that threaten it. This book aims to provoke thought and discussion about the complexities of peace, war, and the moral responsibilities of those who are celebrated for their contributions to society. It is a call to recognize the contradictions that exist within the very institutions that seek to promote peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow citizens, today I stand before you to address a topic that is as outrageous as it is absurd. The so-called gay bomb, a concept so ludicrous that it earned the Wright Laboratory the satirical 2007 Ig Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, you heard that right. In a world rife with genuine issues, war, famine, disease, our brilliant minds at the Wright Laboratory decided that the best use of their time and taxpayer dollars was to concoct a chemical weapon designed to make enemy soldiers irresistibly attracted to one another.
Let us take a moment to digest the sheer insanity of this idea. The notion that a bomb could be engineered to induce homosexual attraction among soldiers is not just a reflection of a profound misunderstanding of human sexuality. It's a testament to the lengths to which some will go in the name of winning. This is not just a scientific folly, it is a glaring example of how the military-industrial complex can warp the very fabric of our society, reducing complex human emotions to mere tactical advantages on a battlefield. What does it say about us? What does it say about a culture that would even entertain the idea of weaponizing love, desire, and intimacy? It reveals a deep-seated fear of the unknown, a fear that drives them to believe that they can control the uncontrollable. It is a fear that manifests in the most grotesque ways, leading to the creation of a weapon that is not only impractical but also fundamentally ignorant of the very nature of human relationships. And let us not forget the implications of such a weapon. Imagine the conversations in the war rooms, the strategists huddled together, brainstorming ways to turn love into a weapon. What if we could make them attracted to each other? They might have said, as if love were a switch that could be flipped on and off at will. This is not just a failure of imagination, it is a failure of humanity. It is is a reduction of people to mere pawns in a game of geopolitical chess, stripped of their dignity, their agency, and their very identities. But this is not just about the absurdity of the gay bomb. It is about the broader implications of a society that would even consider such a thing. It is about the normalization of militaristic thinking, where the complexities of human relationships are reduced to mere tactics in a game of dominance. It is about the way we as a society have allowed ourselves to be led down this path of absurdity, where the pursuit of power trumps the pursuit of understanding and compassion.
So let us call this what it is: a reflection of a culture that is willing to do anything to win, even if it means sacrificing our humanity in the process. Let us reject the notion that love can be weaponized, that intimacy can be turned into a tool of war. Let us stand together against the absurdity of the gay bomb and all that it represents.
In conclusion, I urge you all to reflect on the implications of this madness. Let us not allow ourselves to be defined by the absurdities of our past. Instead, let us strive for a future where love is celebrated, where human connection is cherished, and where we recognize that true strength lies not in domination, but in understanding and compassion.
Thank you, peace God.
I'ma keep a baby bitch.
Yo. Hey. Yo.
Yeah, it started back in the 1300s, plague in the air. Black death rolling through, man, it just wasn't fair. Estimated 25 million bodies in the street, but the rich got richer while the poor faced defeat. Fast forward to 1918, Spanish flu hit, killing 50 million, man, that's some real grit. But the farmer giants, they just saw a gold mine, selling vaccines while the world's on the line. Scamdemic, they cashing in on our pain while we're fighting for breath. They just counting the gains. Zoonotic diseases, they spread like a flame, but the ones at the top, they don't feel the shame. Born in 2009, pigs to humans, a million lives lost, but they just keep booming. Big farmers laughing while we're stuck in our homes. They're stacking up the dollars while we're fighting alone. COVID-19 2020, the world went dark. Over 6 million gone, left a permanent mark. But the stocks keep rising, they're popping champagne while we're out here struggling, feeling all the pain. Scamdemic, they cashing in on our pain while we're fighting for breath. They just counting the gains. Zoonotic diseases, they spread like a flame, but the ones at the top, they don't feel the shame. From Ebola to Zika, they playing with fate. While the world's in chaos, they just elevate. They profit off the fear, they profit off the strife, but we're taking back our power, we're reclaiming our life. Now it's 2024 and we're still in the game, but we see through the lies, we're calling out the names. No more silent suffering, we're breaking the chains. Together we'll rise and we'll never be the same. So here's to the people who've lost a new fault. We'll expose the scam and we'll give it all we got. No more profits off our pain, we're taking a stand in this scamdemic world. United we'll demand. Scamdemic, they cashing in on our pain while we're fighting for breath. They're just counting the gains. Zoonotic diseases, they spread like a flame, but the ones at the top, they don't feel the shame. So remember the names, remember the dates. From the Black Death to COVID, we'll rewrite the fates. No more exploitation, we're taking it back. In this scamdemic world, we're on the right track. on my heart. Praying to a fate that tore me apart. Sunday serve at the pews packed tight, hands raised high, but the spirit don't feel right. Echoes of the whip and the preacher's tone, talking freedom while we still ain't known our own. Psychogenic capture, the soul's fracture, loving what enslaves me, the cruel rapture. Kneel down, bow down, can't break free. Is it God or a mask of my enemy? Cross on my neck, but the weight ain't gold. The story told that my work was sold. Bread and wine, but it tastes like blood. Drowning in belief, can't escape the flood. Hallelujah echoes in the cotton field. Prayers in the wind where the pain's concealed. Paradox locked in this mental cage. Pages of the book, but they burn with rage. Redemption promised, but the cost is steep. Dreams of heaven, while the earth cuts deep. Psychogenic capture, the soul's fracture, loving what enslaves me, the cruel rapture. Kneel down, bow down, can't break free. Is it God or a mask of my enemy? Psychogenic capture, soul's fracture, loving what enslaves me. Get on, growl among the quiet hormones. A faith inherited, not my own. Searching for truth in the shadow of a steeple. God of the oppressed, not the God of the people. Whoa. Happy are the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed citizens of this great nation, I stand before you today not merely as a voice of dissent, but as a clarion call to awaken from the slumber of complacency. We are ensnared in a web of financial deceit, a Ponzi scheme masquerading as a currency system. And it is high time we confront the truth about the U.S. national debt, a truth that has been obscured by layers of political rhetoric and economic jargon. Let us embark on a journey through time, tracing the origins of our national debt, a burden that has grown heavier with each passing year from the very inception of our republic in 1776. When we declared our independence, we began to accumulate debt. The Revolutionary War left us with a staggering 75 million in debt, owed primarily foreign allies who believed in our cause. This was the first chapter of a long and troubling saga. Fast forward to the War of 1812, when our national debt swelled to approximately our 280 million we borrowed from our own citizens in foreign nations, including the British who had once been our adversaries. The cycle of borrowing had begun, and it has never truly ceased. By the time we reached the Civil War, our debt had ballooned to over 2,007 billion. We financed our struggle with bonds, selling our future for the sake of survival. The post-war era saw our debt fluctuate, but it was the world wars that truly set the stage for the financial catastrophe we face today. By the end of World War II, our national debt had skyrocketed to 25.8 billion, a staggering figure that would lay the groundwork for the economic policies that followed. As we entered the latter half of the 20th century, the debt continued to rise, reaching 1 trillion by 1981. The 21st century has seen an explosion of debt that is nothing short of catastrophic as of 2024. Our national debt stands at an unfathomable 33 trillion, a figure so large it is almost beyond comprehension. Who do we owe this money to? The answer is as complex as it is troubling. We owe our debt to a myriad of entities, foreign governments, including China and Japan, who hold significant portions of our treasury bonds, domestic investors, pension funds, and the Federal Reserve itself, which is engaged in quantitative easing to prop up our economy. We are beholden to a system that rewards the wealthy and punishes the working class, a system that perpetuates inequality and fosters dependency on a currency that is losing its value. This is not merely a financial crisis, it is a moral one. We are passing the burden of our debts on to future generations, shackling them with obligations they did not incur. We are living in a time when the very fabric of our democracy is threatened by the insatiable appetite for debt, a Ponzi scheme that enriches the few while impoverishing the many. Let us not be fooled by the illusion of prosperity that this debt has created. The US dollar, once a symbol of strength and stability, is now a tool of manipulation, a currency that is propped up by the very debts that threaten to consume us. We are caught in a cycle of borrowing and spending, a cycle that can only end in disaster. It is time to rise up to demand accountability from our leaders and to reclaim our financial sovereignty. We must advocate for a system that prioritizes fiscal responsibility over reckless spending. A system that invests in our people rather than in a never-ending cycle of debt. We must challenge the status quo and dismantle the structures that perpetuate this Ponzi scheme. In conclusion, I implore you, my fellow citizens, to awaken to the reality of our situation. The US dollar is not merely a currency. It is a symbol of our collective responsibility. Let us not allow it to become a symbol of our demise. Together, we can forge a new path, one that leads to true economic freedom and justice for all the time for action. It's now peace, God.
String scream sharp, sound of shattered glass. 808 stump, echo of a tortured pad. Statues stand tall, but their shadows cat wide. Empire's heavy hand, no place to hide. Red stripes drip blood, white stars turn black. Freedom's a mask, justice stabbed in the back. Chains traded for debt, shackles of a new kind. The whole world bound, same story rewind. From cotton fields to oil drill, the script don't flip, just shifts and kills. America abused, the world's on its knees, begging for air. Can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe. America abused, the echoes don't fade. The world now suffers in the mess you made it. Bombs drop, violins cry, a global dirge. Dollar signs drown, voices unheard. Power drunk, spilling poison in the stream. The land of the free, but only in a dream. Puppets on strings, nations dance to your beat. Classical chaos, trapped in defeat. From black hands building the world, hands broken. Your anthem played loud, but the truth stays unspoken.
I will translate the following into Spanish after the song.
Are you ready to be blown away
By the most
and
innovative
exciting
exciting publishing company in the world. Introducing King Marcus Edutainment, where education meets entertainment in a mind-blowing way.
We are dedicated to creating top quality books.
CDs, DVDs, albums, movies, video games, apps, and more that will not only entertain you, but also educate you in ways you never thought possible. Our team of talented creators and educators work tirelessly to bring you the best. This is King Marcus Edutainment, Gangsta Marcus X, aka Mr. Boycott Memphis, and DJ knows it all.
Let's go! What you looking at? Sing, 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 sing. Taste your mouth to say, stay, bring this to point. God, Dick Fist and BP knows it out. Just passing the bananas. Taste your mouth to say, stay, bring this to Boycott Memphis, and DJ knows it all. Let's go, what you looking at?
What's out in the Pope and Christianity's role in enslavement? The two seemingly unrelated topics, the perception of the Pope as the Antichrist and Christianity's impact on the enslavement of African Americans, has sparked debate and raised questions. While some individuals believe the Pope is the Antichrist, it is crucial to separate religious belief from historical facts when discussing Christianity's role in the enslavement of African Americans. Let's explore these complex issues individually. The Pope is the Antichrist. The belief that the Pope is the Antichrist primarily emerged during the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century. Protestant reformers such as Martin Luther viewed the Pope as an emblem of corruption within the Catholic Church. Symbolic interpret biblical prophecies such as those found in the book of Revelation in a way that aligns with their beliefs. These interpretations often lead people who have understanding of the Bible to associating the Pope with the Antichrist figure, Christianity's role in the enslavement of African Americans. The transatlantic slave trade, which forcibly transported African men, women, and children to the Americas, was driven by economic, social, and political factors. While some individuals exploited Christian teachings to justify slavery, It is essential to recognize that Christianity itself does support slavery. Selective interpretation, slaveholders use selected Bible passages to manipulate religious beliefs. They distorted the biblical context to justify the enslavement of Africans, often pointing towards verses such as Ephesians 6:5, which addresses obedience to masters. However, many enslaved can fall to dictate Americans drew strength from our ancestors. Faith developed into religious practices and sought liberation through religious gatherings and movements like Christian Repression and not by the faith. Also fought tirelessly to end institution of slavery. While the perception of the Pope as the Antichrist exists among some conscious individuals, it is primarily rooted in specific historical contexts and symbolic interpretations. It is crucial to separate my personal beliefs like never trusting black fraternities, black sororities, and all Christians for spreading homosexuality and Christianity from historical facts like the Pope is the Antichrist. Regarding Christianity's role in the enslavement of African Americans, it is important to understand that Christianity itself does endorse slavery. The manipulation of religious teachings by some individuals allowed them to justify their actions. The Pope changed God's holy day of worship to Sunday, but the Pope didn't make a covenant with God. Our ancestors did, and our true day of worship is from sunset. Friday to sunset Saturday, when the Pope changed the day of worship, he fulfilled a prophecy in the Bible. He changed the day in the law of God, the fourth commandment of the 10 commandments. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. Exodus 26, according to Revelations, this is the proof that the Pope is the Antichrist. Now when I say the Pope, I mean every Pope had ever been in history, and the whole Christian empire has broken all of the 10 commandments when the Christian church changed the name of God's son, Yeshua, to Jesus Christ. The pagans held to God Isis. By doing this, they broke the first, the second, and the third commandments of the 10 commandments. In other words, the Christians is taking God's holy name in vain. Long live Christ. Yeshua. But let's go. Support Memphis. Black businessmen. But let's go. Support Memphis black businesses. Tick. ¿Estás listo para quedarte impresionado por la compañía editorial más innovadora y emocionante del mundo? Te presentamos a King Marcus Entertainment, donde la educación se encuentra en el entretenimiento de una manera impactante. En King Marcus Entertainment estamos dedicados a crear libros, CDs, DVDs, álbumes, películas, videojuegos, aplicaciones y más de alta calidad que no solo te entretendrán, sino que también te educarán de formas que nunca imaginaste posibles. Nuestro equipo de talentosos creadores y educadores trabaja incansablemente para brindarte lo mejor. Yeah. Whoa, 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 oh, oh. Chains but kept the whip in their hand. Stole the ground beneath our feet, called it their land. Took the children, sold the mothers, left the fathers to bleed. Then rewrote the story, planted lies as a seed. Truth buried deep, but it still grows tall. You can't silence the roots, they're cracking the walls. Reparation now or die. The truth's on fire, can't deny. The clock is ticking, sky runs dry. Reparation now or die. They taught us, their version said we were born to bow. Turned inventors into shadows, but look at us now. Light bulbs, flash engines roar, signals fly through the air. Every brick of their empire, black hands put it there. They stole the gold, but they can't steal the soul. We're rising higher, justice the goal. Reparation now or die.